Hey, this is Matthew from Nerd News Today, and welcome to our second month of our Ghostbusters 2020 watch. This time, it's all the news and rumors we heard from February 1st until the end of the month, with a little taste of what happened on March 1st, since February was so short anyway. Before we begin with this month's news, I spent some time thinking about the working title for the film, which was revealed in January as Rust City. I noted in the previous video how it seemed like this movie was taking the Ghostbusters out of the big city and headed to a rural setting. Coincidentally, the name Rust City may refer to the Rust Belt, an area of the United States, mostly in the Midwest. Cities in the Rust Belt were originally boom towns for industrial manufacturing, but eventually fell behind economically and technologically, and essentially became ghost towns in their own right. This may be a strong indicator that my theory about the location of this new movie is accurate. So, perhaps Ray retired from busting and decided to go someplace quieter from his childhood to live in seclusion. And that's how our classic character gets intertwined with whatever's going to happen to the modern younger cast. With my theory out of the way for now, let's recap the news that closed out the end of January, which was that the movie would be focused on kids, leading many to believe this movie will be following a Stranger Things formula, and perhaps introducing some characters reminiscent of the junior Ghostbusters from the real Ghostbusters cartoon. Well, February gave us more fuel to the fire for this idea, but also ended with a few surprises. The month began with an Instagram post on February 2nd from a new member joining the production team. Francis Adoué, and I apologize if I'm messing up that name, a production designer who's worked with Sony, took a photo of the grill of the Ecto-1 and wrote Monday's new ride, destination top secret. He also hashtagged it GB20. Francois was production designer on the Wolverine, Logan, and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, to name a few of the things he worked on. He's also worked in many other artistic capacities on films like both of Sony's Spider-Man movies, the first two Men in Black movies, Minority Report, I Am Legend, Avatar, Jurassic World, and The Greatest Showman. Now, what capacity he's going to fill in Ghostbusters 2020 has yet to be revealed at this time. It just appears that he's on board for it. On February 4th, a behind-the-scenes video was posted online showing the filming process for that Ghostbusters 2020 teaser video we talked about last month. Now, while it didn't give us any new information about anything relevant, really, it sure was just fun looking at how they put it all together. Plus, they're legitimately using a lawnmower to make that wind effect. So now you know how that was done. Practical effects for the win. If anything, this might be a sign that there might be more practical effects in this upcoming movie, as opposed to lots of CG for visual effects. On February 7th, Ozzy Inguanzo posted this picture on his Instagram, along with being marked as on the Sony Pictures lot, and said, "Be right back," along with hashtagging it GB2020. Ozzy has worked in the art department for many of Sony's e-gear ventures, including both of their Spider-Man movies and Green Lantern, and much like Francois, also worked on the Wolverine and Logan. Most recently, he produced and wrote the documentary Bathtubs Over Broadway. His official role is currently not determined for the film, but chances are he will be working in the art department for this one. On February 8th, we got a follow-up story last month about Ernie Hudson. In January, there was some confusion when the man known to ghost heads as Winston Zeddemore said he and the original cast were all in for the new movie. This led many to presume the entire surviving original cast would be in the new movie. He later clarified those comments, saying he had not yet been contacted about the sequel, but he'd love to be a part of it. On this day, we found out that Ernie reached out to Jason Reitman to congratulate him about the film. And while they talked about it a bit, Jason wouldn't spill the beans to Ernie at all, giving him no new info about the upcoming film. Hudson expressed once more his interest to be part of the movie, and will look forward to it as a fan even if he's not in it. According to Discussing Film on social media, they said that production would start on May 13th. On that same day, Jason Reitman posted an image outside of the Ghost Corps building on the Sony lot, saying he was just leaving the office. Perhaps he was hard at work at something related to the new movie. The following day, Francois went on Instagram and mentioned he was taking a plane somewhere. He also took this close-up photo of the no smoking sign, which is a vague hint that he was headed somewhere to work on the new film. Perhaps he was location scouting or doing some early test filming, we're not quite sure yet. Ghostbusters fan site and personal favorite of mine, Proton Charging, suggested that the site looked like Alberta or Saskatchewan, leading him to believe that some of the filming might happen in the Great White North. On February 14th, the casting breakdowns were revealed for two other main characters, a second lead boy and lead girl, who are between the ages of 12 and 13. The boy is an intelligent problem solver but has some hardships in life that get in his way, while the second girl is a bit of a self-described airhead, but very friendly. Last month, casting news was dropped about a teenage boy who is a conspiracy theorist into fantasies, with the girl being a very smart scientific character unable to make friends. As of now, we have a 50-50 boy-girl ratio for the new movie, or at least in terms of kids being cast. Who knows if more will join, or if this is going to be it. There's also a brief synopsis of the film, which says, a family moves back home to a small town where they learn more about who they are and the secrets of the town itself. On February 19th, Jason Reitman appeared on the Bill Burr Monday Morning podcast and talked a lot about the film. The major talking points in his interview were that Jason turned in the script for this movie back in December, with the studio surprisingly approving the first draft. Jason intends to start filming this summer and called it a love letter to Ghostbusters. He also reassured the fans a little bit by saying that he's not making the Juno of Ghostbusters movies. No new plot or cast details were revealed, but he did say it will be in the style of the first two films, which really could mean anything depending on how you wanted to spin that. And while Jason added there's not a ton of time to put it all together, especially if they're going to start filming in the summer, this will be a movie for his fellow Ghostbusters fans. On February 20th, the rumors about filming locations were proven true, as Production Weekly confirmed filming would indeed happen in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and would start around June 25th. Take that, you hoser. The Film Workers Union IATSE 212 confirmed it that day with the Calgary Herald, and added that no timing had been given out to them yet. On the other hand, though, the Calgary Commissioner of Film, TV, and Creative Industries, Luke Azevedo, was unable to confirm that report. So there may be some drama in the coming months while this gets sorted out. Speaking of, that same day also gave us our real monthly drama, as some people had taken umbrage with Jason's comments in that Bill Burr interview when he said he was giving the franchise back to the fans. For some, they believe this to be an insult to the 2016 reboot with the female Ghostbuster. Reitman tweeted that day that his comments were misinterpreted and said he admired the folks behind the movie and thanked them for expanding the universe and making an amazing movie. Paul Feig jumped in as well to defend Jason's comments and added that Reitman had been a supporter of the Answer the Call movie and was very excited to see his version in 2020. A few days later, on February 23rd, Oscar night, no, not that Oscar, Melissa McCarthy gave her first public thoughts on the new Ghostbusters movie and said she was all for it.
You know what? I'm for anybody who's making movies. I think, I talked to Jason about it. He's like, I just always had this idea, and his goes back to, like, the world where the guys did exist, and I'm like, I want to see that. I'm all for it. I say, like, tell the story. So I will be there buying my ticket. I'm all for it.
Last month, Leslie Jones made waves when she mentioned her unhappiness and how it felt like Reitman's movie was washing away all the work that her team did by essentially erasing their universe, and put a bad taste in the mouths of many ghost heads. No comments yet from Kristen Wiig or Kate McKinnon as of the time of this video. Now, since February was such a short month, I decided to include a little sneak peek at some of the news that happened in March, specifically March 1st, since a real big piece of news came out that day. According to a report from Variety, Carrie Coon and Finn Wolfhard were in talks to join the cast. The two actors will be playing mother and son, although we're not sure which of the two male child characters Finn could be picking up. Most fans know Finn from Stranger Things, but he also starred in the 2017 It remake, Howard Lovecraft and the Kingdom of Madness, and will also be Pugsley Addams in the upcoming Addams Family movie. Carrie spent a good portion of her early career doing theater, and since then has been in Gone Girl, The Post, and Avengers Infinity War as Proxima Midnight. Now, with the addition of Finn Wolfhard into the cast, it's making the Stranger Things comparisons a lot harder to ignore. However, they also reported that early rumors of the new movie featuring a team of kids is inaccurate. And according to Entertainment Weekly, the movie is actually more about a family with the mom as the lead figure. That news is a huge twist on what we've known for the past 6 weeks, and I expect a lot more information will develop now in March. But you'll have to come back here in 30 days to find out what we've learned since today. So thank you for watching, and if you like this recap of all that Ghostbusters 2020 news, make sure to give us a like, share the video, and subscribe so you can see this and all of our other new videos throughout the month. I'm Matthew from Nerd News Today, and that's all the news we learned in February 2019 about Ghostbusters 2020. See you next month for more.